2 wins with you as the motivation you need to look for the win to put yourself into momentum. I am so grateful for consistency that compounds and like my willingness to keep showing up, and for my clients, more importantly, to do the work. So let's talk about 2 wins that each look a little different, and why these matter for you, and what lessons you can take away from these wins so that you can put yourself into momentum. Someone say momentum if you're ready to go. Okay, I'll talk about one client first. She came to me today and wanted to know how to start monetizing her expertise when she has spent her whole career as a linguist. And if you know about the industry, you know, and the money just like isn't coming in right now. And I've met with her a few times before for different reasons, and she has a podcast on which she's had me on as a guest before. And I just happen to love a lot of my clients, and I also happen to love her because she takes the advice, she asks constructive questions, and then she applies what she learns even when she doesn't quite know what she's doing, but she's putting herself into imperfect action so that she can figure it out, right? And today we only had 30 minutes together. And so, okay, I'm looking at my board. She started off with like, I'm stuck. I'm like, tell me what your question is so that we can structure this the right way. She's like, I'm stuck and I need to monetize. So we talked about what I know her superpower strengths are, even though, tell me if this relates with anybody, even though somebody in her life very close to her said that you can't sell that. Like, I know our parents and our kids and our friends all mean well, right? Like, oh, you can't monetize that. And I'm like, yo, I'm here to tell you, I know people in my inner circle that are in fact monetizing this stuff for like $25,000 a pop. She's like, what? Tell me more. And she lives in Argentina. And so I said, listen, me or you or anybody out there, when we talk about these offers and these irresistible offers and like, what are you creating as a byproduct of monetizing your expertise? Write this down, is it has to be a system. So knowing what I know about her and her business, I was like, for you, it's a 3-step system. So I said, tell me everything you know about your expertise. And so she told us, and we extracted ultimately 3 words that now are defining her system. And I said, cool. So then through everything she told me, I was like, you've got part 1, part 2, and part 3. And this is part of part 1, and this is part of part 2, and everything kind of fits together and ultimately forms this system. She's going to a conference, which is so amazing. We talked about different ways you can end your conference presentation. I'm just having this like I have an idea right now. So if you want to know what those are, I'll go live in my Facebook group to share 3 different ways, 3 ways you can end, like 3 ways to have the right call to action at a talk. Okay, because there are probably multiple ways, but like these 3 ways are going to work. So I told her the way that I thought would resonate the most with her audience at this conference. And the cool thing is, so like as a little teaser here, she's got almost 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. And so this idea would be a slam dunk and a win-win-win. Okay, so we talked about that. And then ultimately we created what is like a core product out of monetizing her expertise. And so by the end of this 30-minute call, she has a price, she has what her system was, and she has how to execute this system and what to include in it, not to like add more things in it, but like truly for her to get things out of it and for her clients to ultimately get their results. And that kind of leads me to my second story, but she hasn't sold it yet. Her win for the day is truly like showing up, asking the question, and then getting, my mentor calls this decade in a day, where everybody sits in a room and everybody gets to ask one question and they get 5 minutes of answers, or they get 5 minutes of questions and answers about that one question, and how it can just monumentally move businesses forward. And I know that is what happened to my client today in this 30-minute call, because it's not about what's the right price. It's not about what's the right call to action at this conference. It's about putting herself in momentum in order to ultimately monetize her expertise. So this is so exciting. Okay, my second win I wanted to share with you to wrap this up is a client I recently won. So like a client that I won about 2.5 weeks ago. She has been working fast. Someone say fast in the comments. Like, she has been working so fast. What's up, my good friend Trey? She has been working so fast that as a result of working fast, she's figuring things out really, really fast, like what to do, what not to do. And because she's one of those clients that when I won her, I was like, oh my gosh, she's like an amazing client for me to work with. She already has an established business. She's already monetizing her expertise, and she wants to go from 6 figures to 6 figures a year to 6 figures a month, and like 7 figures and beyond, right? And it's really like that 1% shift. It's like turning the dial just 1% to see, like, within her business, what is the thing that she can do more of, and what are the things she should do less of in order to make even more money. And so she came up with, using my system, she came up with a $25,000 offer. Okay, this is so awesome. And it really is the first time you sell a $100,000 offer, the first time you sell a $300,000 offer, like my friend Kim, the first time you sell a $10,000 offer, your brain isn't going to believe that it happens until you sell the offer, right? And so there's 2 parts of sales. There's like, what is it worth? And then how can I best serve? And ever since I switched, it's like so funny, as a 20-year corporate sales veteran, selling to business operational budgets and P&L, ever since I switched from P&Ls to like working with individual coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs, it's such a different feeling, but it's still people's money. Whether it's a business's P&L or an individual's P&L, it's still this feeling of connectedness. And the cool thing is, we have the ability to serve our clients. And one way I love to do that, and then inspire my clients to do the same, is to, once establishing the value and once understanding that your prospect wants the offer made to them and all the things, is that you give them an offer. I mean, Alex Hormozy says, like, give them an offer too good that they would feel stupid saying no to. But ultimately what that means is like really hearing what they're going through, what their financial pains are, like where they are in their business and where they're wanting to scale, and giving them an offer too good that they literally can't say no. So what my client did today to win her very first $25,000 client is going to look different than her 10th client or her 100th client. And like, that is okay. It's not only okay, it's like super normal. But so often we get stuck thinking, well, no, I have to follow a sales script, or like, I'm scared, I don't know if it's worth this, or like, I'm gonna just have logorrhea and like just like word vomit all over the place, right? And like, I don't know how, I'm not convicted in my price, I'm not convicted in my offer. But it's so cool. Like, what we teach in these free masterclasses we hold is like the ability to iterate. You iterate your offer, you iterate your masterclass, you iterate everything until There is a point until, but you keep iterating your offer and you keep serving and over delivering for your clients. And that is exactly what happened for her today. She gave her client a $25,000 offer, but the way she broke it down, the way she delivered the offer to her client said yes. No questions asked, yes. And so, I don't know, I just want to inspire you today with these two stories about how to put yourself into momentum, whether you're just creating your first offer or whether you're looking to scale your business from where it is today to 6 figures a month or 6 figures, 7 figures a year, and use some of these strategies. It's like everything doesn't have to be A to Z. It doesn't have to go in order from 1, 2, 3, but it's like, how can we serve our clients? How can we give them what they want? And how can we just have a bigger impact? All right, I hope this was helpful. Drop your comments below.